Welcome to episode 3 of Officially Strong, and we are in Norrköping, Sweden, home of Johannes R show for Sweden's Giants Live Grand Prix again. Darren Sadler here, of course, as head referee. I'm here helping organise all of the stuff. Not particularly well, sorry, we're about 10 minutes late, maybe 15. So it's going to be a slightly shorter show, 15 minutes long. Without further ado, let's just have a little look at a promo for what is coming up this weekend here in Norse Shopping at the Stadium Arena.
Must defeat the Berserkers. Great Giants live.
Well, what a lineup there is. We've just seen Martin Forsmark, Johannes Arsho, of course Thor is our star here, and will no doubt be red hot favourite for the event. Johannes, tell us a little bit about some of the other guys coming as well from other parts of the world.
Yeah, of course we have it's a great lineup of guys. Mark Felix from England and Dave Ostlund from USA. It's going to be real fun to see him compete again. Feels like he's been around forever and he's always really, really good. And we have Adam Bishop from England and Stefan Solvi making his comeback.
Yes, indeed.
A really good friend of mine, and I've been really looking forward to seeing him compete again. So it's going to be an amazing show.
Let's talk a little bit about the 6 events we're doing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, real short brief on what the 6 are. We'll start with farmers, then we go on to overhead medley.
Yeah.
We've got a keg toss. We have a deadlift, of course.
Yeah.
Atlas stones and the one other.
And we have the loading race.
The loading race. We'll start with that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a monster loading race.
Yeah.
We have rebuilt 2 containers, put wheels on them and some handles.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a huge wheelbarrow, but we use containers.
Yeah.
And we're going to transport the container for 5 meters, load an object. Of course, it gets heavier. Then you're going to transport it further 5 meters, and then load an object, and then 5 more meters, and then it's really, really heavy. And then you're going to load the last object. And it's I haven't really tried it out yet, so but when I did try it, I had one chance. It felt really, really heavy. So I think it's going to look amazing for the crowd. It's a really cool event.
So just to explain, it's kind of like car wheelbarrow. You pick it up, you go. It's a giant skip. If you're British, I'm not quite sure what you call it in America, but it's the big metal container. You chuck crap in, and then you fill it with everything from bins to sacks to whatever, until you get over the line. Now, the one probably that'd be most interesting. Keg toss.
Yeah.
Now, there's multiple records at multiple weights. 15 kilos, of course, is your world record at 7 meters.
Yeah.
Now, Thor took the world record from 7.2 to over 8 meters with the 12.3 kilo keg. That's about 25 pounds. We're now stepping up to about 33 pounds.
Yeah.
7 meters. Can you first of all beat your record? If he has a bad day, maybe you'll get it. Maybe Stefan will get it. We'll have a chat with Stefan. He's just joined us in the back there.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What do you think is possible?
It's
7 meters, by the way, is about 23, 24 feet, right? So
it's really high, and when you're going to throw something that high, you have to have coordination and you have to have a good hit. It doesn't matter how powerful you are; you still have to have a good technique and hit it exactly right. And but I think we will see an 8 meter be broken, and I know the Hafthor is absolutely the best in the world at this event. So it's I hope it doesn't break the roof in the arena.
how high is the roof?
It's actually 9 meters.
So if he clears 8 meters and a keg is... So 8 meters is like 8, 16, 24 add-on of 3 or 4. It's going to be like 26, 27 feet, which is a ludicrous height to throw it. Yeah. But then you've got another few feet of battle, haven't you? So he's going to be... So it's only like 30 odd foot, the ceiling. It's going to be a tight squeeze, isn't it?
It's going to be tight. It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be quite nervous since I'm arranging the competition. And it could get pretty expensive, you know, depending on what he breaks, but...
How's your insurance?
I don't have anyone. That's the truth. I don't have anyone, so I hope we don't break anything.
Okay, cool. Let's bring Dan Sadler in, of course, multiple World's Strongest Man competitor. Daz, how do you see this one going for the 2 Brits involved this weekend?
Well, I mean, quite good really, because we've got such a nice wide range of events. And you've got people like Stefan Solvi. People don't really know what to expect. This is a World's Strongest Man finalist that's coming back. So Stefan's could be a real dark horse. Dave Osland hasn't done anything for a while, but again, World's Strongest Man finalist. He's got some great events. He's a good thrower. He's a great stone lifter. Mark Felix, he's a good thrower, great stone lifter, and obviously one of the best deadlifters. Adam Bishop, he's going to be good at the moving events, things like the loading, things like that. Again, he's a great thrower, and I hear his deadlifts come right up as well. So I think everyone's got. It's going to be good to watch because no one's going to walk away with it. That is a fact. And it'd be nice to see how some of the athletes returning will do. I'd say, such as Dave Austin and Stefan. And obviously you've got Thor and Johannes that are sort of the form horses, really. Again, both World's Strongest Man finalists. You know, who's going to bet against Thor chucking that, keg over there? Probably only Johannes, you know. But and obviously Thor's pretty good at every single event. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. And I think you're going to see a couple of surprises just because everyone's got the little event that they want to win. I spoke to Mark earlier. You know, Mark's saying, the deadlift's his and that's it. And I'm sure these guys are all going to disagree with him on that.
Well, he's one thing Mark's always been good at is deadlift for reps. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to that, he's a very fit man, and he's soon to turn 50. He's just
he doesn't seem to be losing it at all. He just
it's better.
Better and better.
And also, if there was any athlete whose physique you'd take, you'd probably take Felix's. He still looks $1 million.
I mean, he was in the final at World's Strongest Man this year and second at World's Strongest Man.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that in Britain.
Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Don't Google it.
Okay. Talking of fun, which of course we're having, let's have a look at a little bit of Thor Bjornsson. We shot a feature with him down in Melbourne. You might have seen this before. British television has, but I'm not sure the rest of you have. Let's take a look at this.
Also Icelander Thor Bjornsson, aka The Mountain, from the TV series Game of Thrones. At almost 7 foot high, he's perhaps the most feared competitor in Strongman.
My name is Hafþór Julius Björnsson. I'm from Iceland. People call me Thor. I'm 6'8", around 400 pounds. My family, they're all tall. My sisters, my father, my mother. I get it all the time when I'm traveling at the airport, at home, competitions, everywhere. People want photos and autographs, so I'm used to it. I'm a really friendly guy. If people like photo, I'm always open to that. I've been filming with Game of Thrones in season 4. I was acting a guy who called the Mountain, and he's pretty serious. Yeah, lots of death and blood. My goal now is to win the World's Strongest Man, and I want to win the title as many times as I can. But everything can change by the time. But I want to at least stay in the sport for maybe 6-8 years more. Now my focus is on Strongman, and I want to be the number 1, the World's Strongest Man.
Any other interesting characters you've competed against here at the Fit Expo who could maybe push you, challenge you for the title?
Not really.
Okay. Also Icelander.
Yes, welcome back to Officially Strong, episode number 3. We are soon to be competing at the Stadium Arena. Adam Bishop soon to be back again competing at the Stadium Arena. Adam, we were just looking at a little Thor piece there from Melbourne. Since Melbourne last year, 2014, he's got a whole lot better. But so have you, from what I hear. So how's training been going?
Yeah, training's been going really well. Really kind of stepped things up in the last kind of 12 months. Big goal was to come back and compete in Sweden again because it's such an incredible comp last year. So I really wanted to come back, and luckily, obviously, Johannes has invited me back. So thanks for that, mate.
Nice to have you here, buddy.
Yeah, so Jojo, last year this man came 4th. Put Martin Forsmark under some pressure.
Yeah.
You were 2nd. When you think of the lineup, right? Last year, Brian, who's very comparable to Thor. It's much of a muchness. You were there 2nd. But, Forsmark, Adam, I mean, the Swedes are here. Jonny Johansson. Jonny, not Johansson, but Jonny Hansen.
Yeah.
Johnny Hansen. But then you've got the likes of Dave Osland, Stefan Solvi, WSM finalist. You know, there's some real heavy hitters are slotting in there as well. So it's actually, in some ways, Adam's going to be stronger, but it's going to be tougher to get to the podium, I think.
Definitely.
Because Forsmark's here as well, and I'm guessing he's stronger.
He's a lot stronger, and he's very dedicated, and he's been training really hard, and you know, he really wants this, and he wants to come back to World's Strongest Man. So he's here for the top 3, nothing else. So he's going to really fight for it. You know?
Well, I mean, we kind of measure people nowadays with max deadlifts and max logs. How's Martin's max deadlift? Has that gone up since last year?
He's actually really good for reps. I think his max deadlift is like 390 kilos, 400, but it's much better for reps. So, and his static strength over his head was his weakness before, but he really worked on that. And I know he did a very easy 180 kilo Apollon's axle 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And yes, a year ago he was struggling with 160 kilos. So he's become really good.
Good. Sweden's strongest policeman.
Yeah.
So, Adam, one thing I've noticed about you, which is a great attribute to have, is a sort of competitive animal. You definitely step up in competition, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, your best is PB is still 3. Have you done 380 yet?
No,
Kilos,
still
370?
370.
But you've tripled.
That's I tripled 350 pretty comfortably. I tend not to. I stay away from the singles unless I'll have one in the comp, so it's all rep work for me. Working on predicted maxes. So.
Just to convert to
That's
pounds.
815 is 370.
Yeah, 815, right?
Yeah, and I did. What's that about?
350, 770.
Yeah, 770,
For a triple.
725, something like that for a triple. Yeah.
And our deadlift, what's the deadlift here? I mean, last year, you joked it was a bit CrossFit. Well, I mean, Brian did 14 reps, but that's hardly CrossFit stuff. But when it's Brian Shaw, I mean, he's a monster. But
yeah, it was a lot of reps. The fun thing was that when I tried the equipment for the competition in another place, the ground wasn't really flat, so we must have put it in a bump or something like that. So when we put it in the arena, the handles went up so much. So because that floor was flat, and it changed everything. So everything got too easy.
So in the hand this time, what are we looking at in the hand? If he stands up with it, it is side handle, right?
No,
it's a front handle. It is full on front handle. So and the weight weighed up on that machine.
I actually bought a new scale so I could know exactly how heavy it was. And when I stand up with the weight locked out, it's exactly 391 kilos in the handle.
390 as well. Well, you get your PB.
So I wanted to do something different to last year. Last year was too many reps. This year maybe too heavy, but still it won't be too much reps.
There'll be a few guys who won't pull it, huh? I mean, how about you? I mean, not putting someone like Johnny Hansen down, but in his first big international, what's his deadlift like?
I don't know, but he says it's so low, but when it comes to competition, he seems to do a lot of reps. And I know we had it in Sweden's Strongest Man, I saw it myself, it was 350 kilos in the handles, very low, similar to normal deadlift, front bar. And I think he did 3 reps or something like that on 350 kilos.
Right.
And so he keeps getting better and better, and he has a lot of potential, so I think we're going to see a lot more from him in the future.
Yeah. Well, I must apologise for the noise. David Nystrom has just come into the room, started talking in the back of the room. Get out of here! We'll have a chat with you later on, David. Nice to see you, man. Pick up some questions. Overhead medley. What? Thank you for writing into questions on YouTube, and there's a stream of questions. Chris, this handsome devil here on the right, who you can't see, is fielding them. Chris.
So, could you explain the overhead medley for us?
Overhead medley. Now, it's a mixture of block, which weighs
110 kilos.
It is just a standard bar, and we were debating what to put on the bar, but we've put on only 140 kilos, which is interesting weight because it's just over 300 pounds. Yeah. It's right up at the end, funny enough, of the CrossFit Max guys. So you see them, jerking overhead to wobbling arms. It'll be interesting to see what the guys do with that.
Yeah, my thoughts were just that when you do a press medley, of course it's going to be heavy, but it's also about, you have to have some stamina as well, to make all the objects. And
you then go to axle, right? We then go to axle, which is heavier, and then log, which is heavier again.
Yeah, so first block 110 kilos, normal bar 140 kilos, and then it's an axle, balance axle, 162 kilos, and then you're pretty tired after that, and then you have a log for 170 kilos, and that's going to be 170 kilo. Maybe isn't that big weight, today, but after you've done the first 3 implements and you're breathing heavily and so on, honestly missed it myself in training. I didn't do it the first time I tried it, so you have to be a little bit smart about that.
Yeah, I mean, a clean and jerk at 140 for strongman. It's a debate we've had actually, because this whole officialstrongman.com is something that's just being still in the production stage very much, but soon to be rolled out as a more useful tool for qualifying for a lot of things. But bar, axle, what do you find easier for actually maxing out? Now you have a sort of Olympic weightlifting past, don't you?
Yeah, I've used it in the past through rugby training, etc. But a barbell is by far easier.
For you?
For me, yeah, barbell much easier.
If you were to do a max right now on both, what would you do?
So I'm looking at overhead, looking at kind of a 190 jerk with a barbell, and an axle that's sitting at 170. So still a jerk as well, so it's different.
How about you?
I think I'm the opposite, but that's because you probably have a much better technique than I have.
Yeah.
So for me, actually, it feels easier to clean a heavy axle than a normal bar.
How do you clean a barbell?
The normal barbell I just do with.
Do you do the?
No, I do it overhand.
European.
Overhand, yes.
You're still on the belly.
A touch on the belly, and then I strict press it.
More on the abs.
Yeah. More on the abs.
And then the log is 172.5. What's your PB in log?
Still looking at about 160, so that'll be a PB again.
It's
going to be a PB fest for me. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I'll tell you, someone who is. Who's been having a bit of fun today, doing a photo shoot and whatnot, was Thor Bjornsson and Jojo. We were down at your container, down at your unit where we were.
My cave.
Your cave. I mean, the man cave.
Yeah.
The man cave of man caves.
The most disgusting training facility on planet Earth.
But Thor's girlfriend walked out the toilet and just, it's disgusting.
She couldn't do it.
She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. So we had to be sort of ushered along. Anyway, let's have a look at some a few high jinks in the session.
This is Hafthor Julius Björnsson. I'm here in Sweden, Norrköping. I'm gonna destroy your golden boy tomorrow. See it happen. The hatred! You can see it! I eat him alive! Yeah! Yes. Let him go. This is hot.
So, welcome back. We have swapped out Adam, and in his place, Stefan Solvi Pettersson. How are you, Stefan?
Very good. Nice to see you guys.
It's more than a small pleasure to have you back. You and I have done many more Highland Games, but also many weeks at World's Strongest Man contests over the years. And,
a lot.
Alice and I were saying earlier how it's so cool to have you back. We're not only one of the strongest guys on the circuit, but also one of the most popular because he's just a dude. Stefan.
Making me blush.
Oh! We'll have some tongues later. Fourth at World's Strongest Man. That was in South Africa.
A long time ago.
2010. Feels like a while ago, doesn't it? Yeah. Amazing, and you felt like it was just going to keep coming and coming. What? So you're back. You obviously you just sort of started to feel not well in life,
yes.
and then actually started helping out Gregor Edmonds in the equipment crew. Gregor, of course, is a former WSM finalist. Just to kind of keep your hand in and keep coming along, having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But then you obviously stopped that, and then suddenly we hear the news from Iceland, that smoke signals from Iceland that Stefan's on the warpath back again. So you're as strong as you were. Let's start with that.
I feel very good. I'm just I don't want to say anything. I'm just coming in the show very humble, and I'm just gonna give it my absolute best and have a really good time.
Okay.
So I don't really want to say anything, but I'm pretty strong.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I guess you've seen, in a weird way, the world just keeps getting better, doesn't it?
It is. So actually, I lost a few years of training. So
yeah.
So of course that's not good for me as an athlete, but I still believe in myself, and I feel pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to see what I can do tomorrow.
And your little brother was competing in Giants Live Iceland earlier in the year against likes of John Posen and Mark Felix.
Yeah.
He enjoyed that, was it?
He did, but he wasn't really happy with his performance.
No.
Yeah, no, not that day, but but it was a good opportunity for him.
Has he got the potential to be a WSM man one day, do you think? Is he dedicated? Is he?
He's dedicated, but it's up to him. You just have to put in the work and eat the food.
You do indeed, yeah. Hapthor, let's talk about the other Icelander then, if you're going to be a little coy. He's not so coy, Hapthor.
No.
Saying earlier in that little promo how he's going to wipe the floor with Jojo and everybody else.
Kill my city's golden boy.
Kill the golden boy of Norse shopping. Was it, you didn't hear it, but that's what he's saying. How's Hapthor?
He looks really good in training. So, and I feel he's much more dedicated to Worlds than he was last year at the same time. So I think people can be really excited to see what he's going to do at World's Strongest Man this year. So, and today he's in very good shape. He's going to see quite the performance tomorrow.
So if we see something special tomorrow, presumably we are, November 27th, a month, December. He said he's basically doing nothing. He doesn't want to leave the island of Iceland, and he's gonna plug into the icebergs and whatever you fellas do, get.
That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Eat the skyr, which is I get my kids eating skyr now. You get it in Britain. Yeah. That's the secret skyr. And then so December, January, February, March. He's got a good 4-month run up to Worlds then, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean that's. And if he looks like he could run through a building right now. He looks just. It could be terrifying in 4 months' time.
Yeah.
Did you expect that 450 kilo deadlift from him? Let's start with that.
I think nobody did. I don't even think he expected it. But it was really amazing to see. I think he was hoping for a 430 deadlift, and he just told me at the day he just felt so good. He wanted to give a really good shot at 450, and it just blew up. The speed of the floor was amazing.
For a 6'9" dude, it was pretty good. Yeah. And his confidence has grown because of it. You can see that. I said to him today, jokingly, would you push Eddie Hall for World Deadlift Champs next year? And he went, yes. Yes, I think I can beat him.
Yeah. Do you remember back in the days when all the tall guys were complaining about being too tall to deadlift? That excuse is dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Totally dead.
He's got some wild power, he really does. Unbelievable. Yeah. Europe's Strongest Man, let's bring us on to that then. We got Norse shopping tomorrow. We're starting to run out of time, so let's just have a quick chat about Europe's Strongest Man. Tickets, of course, went on sale today. There was a mild amount of confusion from what I hear. I've been out filming most of the day, doing all kinds of other stuff, dramatic show stuff with Johannes in the arena, so I've kind of missed it, but anyway, I hope there hasn't been too much confusion. I believe the website is now explaining exactly what's what on the site. There was a few people saying, that where their tickets a lot more expensive. Well, actually, what we were doing is we just dramatically cut down all of these VIP tickets, or Premier tickets as they were called, at the Leeds Rhinos place. So we've dramatically cut down, just made those a lot more expensive. But actually, everybody is going to get a fantastic view there, and you can still get a ticket for 25 quid, which is what it was at the other venue anyway. And this place is, I can't tell you, when I walked in there, and we did Madison Square Garden in 08, Mohegan Sun 5 times, this one just destroys them all. It is spectacular. I mean, it's built less than 10 years ago, voted the best arena in the world a couple of years ago by fans going to shows, so it's going to be something special, that's for sure. And with Thor, Jojo, Eddie Hall, Benny Magnuson, Zaviscus, can't wait. Phoned us up asking about it. When's it happening? What's up? I hear this, this arena, everything. It's going to be a night show. The return of Lalas. Everything there. The World Deadlift Champs. And I probably shouldn't say this, but why not? Let's put it out there. Eddie Hall was messaging me back and forwards 2 days ago saying, I don't just want to break it by a kilo, the World Deadlift. That's how confident he is. He said, I really have to get this 500 kilo deadlift out of me now. Please, can we organise something so that a sponsor can help make it worthwhile? So he doesn't do what's known as a sort of Sergei Bubka, where you beat the pole vault record by a centimetre 30 times. And no one ever really knows what you could have done. You just pick up world record bonuses. He wants to do 500 kilos. So let's chuck it out there. If you want to get involved in what will be the greatest strength show ever, they'd get in touch on that one, because 500 kilos is coming. And then when Benny Magnusson heard about that, well, over the last couple of months, Darren's told me Benny's just training like an animal. So and then Thor joked today, not joking, he was going to win. Let's have a little look at a promo of what's to come up on Europe's Strongest Man first.
I am the future of strength, and I am king of this
Bjornsson is about to ignite.
Welcome back to Officially Strong, and we've moved from Norse Shopping Giants Live Sweden. We just chatted to Johannes Arsho, Stefan Solvi about what's coming up. We're now just flipping our mind onto Europe's Strongest Man, which tickets went on sale today, and the World Deadlift Championships. So we're just letting you in on what is really happening, so there's no need for rumours. It's at the Leeds Arena, which is known as the First Direct Arena, firstdirectarena.com. Tickets went on sale this morning. It's been pretty good so far. Thank you for the reaction. It's costing a small fortune to hire this arena to make it bigger and better, because we realised we'd sold out the 5,000-seater stand at the Rhinos. People were having bad view because it had massive pillars. It's a 100-year-old stand. It had, let's not say anything bad about the Rhinos. It was a beautiful old stand, and it was a great show. But it's time to have, Mac Daddy audio, lights, cameras, evening show, the works. Let's chuck it to Mark. Mark, are you excited? Because of course, you'll be 50 then. Maybe we'll have a happy birthday song for you by Your Strongest Man. And you're certainly the strongest 50-year-old there's ever been. Just about the strongest man in the world at 50. How's your training going anyway at the moment for this Norway show, and then how do you see next year's Europe's going?
Well, this training for the Norway show, I've been doing a lot of cardio, a lot of strength training exercise, just to get fit, because those guys are so strong and fast. I just need to up it. So I've been doing loads of that, and also I haven't been just training crazy. I've been training more smart, make sure that I work on my weakness. So I'm fit and I'm ready to go now.
Excellent. Deadlift 420. You've done that, I think 3 times now, 420, haven't you? And we always do that big jump at the World Deadlift to 435, and do you think that's in you to go further in deadlift, or do you see that starting to slip now?
I think I still have it to me. One of the reasons why I didn't push myself too much at Europe last year, because the week before I went to Canada and I did some heavy deadlifting there. My back was still a bit tired from that. So once I go for the 420, I was like, no, I cannot do that. Mm-hmm. So that was it. So, but it's still there.
Right. Okay. Great. We're talking to Daz. Daz, obviously you've been the driving force behind Europe's Strongest Man, going from the backwaters of different places to a not very sold out Wembley Arena when I did it on Matod in 2010. Were you in that one?
I was in that one.
You came second in that one, didn't you? Yeah. Behind Zadrunas. And I started to think, Madison Square Garden, Megan Sun, we've done them all, Wembley Arena now, and it's never going to take off. And then obviously this show happened to Leeds, and all the right ingredients happened, and poof, oh my God, that puts up the hair of the back of your neck thinking about Leeds. And if you haven't been there, you got to go. It's outrageous. And now it's gone. We've betting the house on the Leeds Arena.
Yeah.
How do you? What was your first thought in changing it?
Well, I mean, we had to. The pair of us obviously put a lot of effort into it, and it worked. The formula was right, the athletes were right. We made sure all the right guys were there. the vision was that everybody that was anybody went. If someone could prove that they could pull a 440, 450 deadlift, well, they can have an invite. Simple as that, and that's what we did, with the World Deadlift Championships and Europe's Strongest Man. It's heavy, the stadium's great, the setting was there, the crowd's there, so everything was there. But this time, myself and Colin looked at a lot of different stadiums. This one just suits the show a lot better because it's a horseshoe-shaped stadium. The tickets still start at £25, so you can still go watch the show for £25. But there isn't a bad seat in the house because of how it's shaped. So you're not sat right down one end or right at the other end, or having to pay for expensive tickets to be, Although there is great tickets sat at the front as well, but you can still go see the show at £25, which is great.
Well, why not an afternoon show then? That was. These are some of the questions. I'll chuck you some of the questions I saw on Facebook today. Why isn't it starting at midday?
Well, there's a lot of questions why we're doing it like this. One, because most of the big stadiums that put on a show, if you like, not a football match or a rugby match, an actual show, which is what we're going towards. Obviously, they're indoor. So the last thing you want on a summer's day is to be sat inside. So we're doing it as a night show, and statistically, more people go to these night shows. So the first direct arena, you've got a place like, you've got Stereophonics and Mumford and Son and people like playing.
Barry Manilow's on the week before, and Elton John's on a couple of weeks after.
Yeah,
Strongman fan.
These are all sell-out shows. So yeah, it's a bit of a risk, but we've got confidence again. And one thing we are going to do is we're going to make sure that all the best guys are there. They've already been in. Even the guys that we were thinking about getting in touch with have been in touch with us and said, yeah, we want a piece of this.
Right, well, we've had a question from Chris off camera here. People are asking, Thor's Zadrunas, the return of Lalas, Holland, Charlet, Felix, Eddie, Benny, Bolton, Johannes, Brian Shaw, George Lehman.
Well, I mean, it's as simple as this, really. The guys that are pulling the big deadlifts have got an invite. Brian Shaw's certainly got an invite. Anybody that can pull around the 450 mark, they should be there. Obviously, you've got the form horses that have already pulled around that. I mean, Thor came out with the 450 last year, and who's to say he's not going to be going for a world title deadlift this year? If you can pull 450, well, you might be able to pull 465.
Thor said Brian wouldn't turn up today.
Right. Well, I mean, listen.
Brian, get in touch. Get the phone here quickly. Someone get Brian on the phone.
Brian's obviously world class, and he's obviously up there. And obviously, as always, he's got an invite. So we can only invite people. And so far,
George Lehman.
Yes. George Lehman, I don't know what sort of form he's in, but if he is, he's definitely got an invite. Yeah.
George, well, we'll certainly get in touch, and obviously Brian. I'm teasing Brian. If you're watching this, by the way, hopefully you do fancy it, Brian, because we'd love to have him there for the World Deadlifts. Obviously, you can't compete in Europe's Strongest Man.
Well, one thing it isn't a closed club. This is the whole idea of it. It's not a closed club. It's not like, well, he's coming because his face fits. If you're pulling 450 kilos in your gym, we've never heard of you. You get in touch with us.
Well, how do you get in touch? It's called officialstrongman.com.
Official Strongman, you can upload it there.
Yeah, that's the number one.
Simple
place.
as that. If it's genuine, you get an invite. There's no, this is a world class show. If you are a world class athlete doing that, and this is what the sport needs. It needs a direct line. People can't always see how they get to the top of a sport, but this is a way of saying, yeah, if you can do it, we'll give you an invite.
But let's just might as well announce the world actually that. Obviously, there'll be World Deadlift Championships in multiple weights coming soon, the venue announced. But World's Strongest Man have decided to hand over the true titles. The logos, everything. They have asked us to get involved with running the World's Strongest Man in all weight categories, age categories. World's Strongest Woman is coming back, the lot. So they realised perhaps at times they haven't kept up with the times. Other people, of course, have grabbed opportunities, called it different names, and good on them, actually, for doing things. But now it's time to do the true titles. It's now time to unleash them.
They maybe missed a trick, and the titles need to be done properly, and the true World's Strongest Man under 105, World's Strongest Man under 90, World's Strongest Woman, it'll be given by those guys.
Yeah,
and also Masters, don't forget the Masters.
And Masters, yeah.
Well, Mark, you could win World's Strongest Man over 50, over 40, and open.
And it could die.
You have all three.
It could die down to 105 and win that as well.
Yeah, get a pair of tits and you win that Let's just have a little look about a little throwback to 2 years ago. Well, not 2 years ago, 18 months ago, when Johannes Arsho kicked some ass at Europe's Strongest Man in the Super Yoke. Let's roll the video, please, James. And Johannes will be seeing again tomorrow if you tune into the YouTube feed. Which is really ridiculously early in America, 3 a.m. or something on Pacific Standard Time. I don't know, 5, 6, 7 p.m. a.m. in New York, we're going to be showing a large chunk of it, the keg toss, the world record. So keep your eyes open for that. Anyway, let's have a look at Jojo's action.
Now we have Johannes Arsho, the Swede, and Mark Felix from Blackburn, Lancashire, the local boy here, really. I know it's the other side of the Pennines, but I'm sure they'll be cheering him along. And Colin, we talk about running. I mean, they almost literally are breaking into a run. This is more than a trot.
It's outrageous. These guys are as quick laden as unladen. I tell you what, he's going to get close to that 22 seconds.
He's going to be very close indeed, and Felix isn't going to be far away either. 21. And Mark Felix, 24 seconds or so, 21.25 for the Swede. That is a great run. Mark Felix, 24.15. This is insanely fast. Now the Austrian, Martin Wildauer, excelled in the power lift. And Thor Bjornsson almost has to kneel to get under that bar. Just to remind you, 1,000 pounds they're carrying. 72 stone, and they are jogging with it.
Well, it's extraordinary when you say it like that. I tell you what, Bjornsson's going through the gears. Those long legs of his.
Knees are starting to tremble a little. Wildauer is dropping behind, but not by much. Bjornsson is nearly there. 22 seconds and change, and Wildauer under 25. But what is the time? Bjornsson 21.31. Arsho 21.25. 6/100ths of a second.
Johannes, what a performance. Really, really good time there. Talk us through the race.
It felt very heavy in the beginning and didn't feel like I was moving fast, but apparently it was a good time and it was just really, really heavy the last 10 meters.
Well, great performance. Well done.
Thank you.
So, Johannes Arsho takes top honours in the yoke, narrowly holding off Thor Bjornsson with Rajakowski of Poland.
So, welcome back, and we brought in Derek Devon from the USA. Derek, nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you. Thanks.
You feeling strong?
Yeah, I feel good.
Certainly you look terrifyingly big. And big Dave Austin at the end there. Dave, again, nice to see you, sir. You all right?
Nice to see you, yeah.
The old man of Strongman.
Getting there, yeah.
How old are you now?
34 only. I just have a lot of mileage on the body now.
16 years younger than Felix.
Yeah, I don't know that I can do this 16 more years.
Yeah, 4 tendon snaps later, you're still with us. Good to see you. Yeah. Let's just knock up a couple of questions, because that's what it's all about. Thanks for sending questions in. One question was Zydrunas Savickas and his.
And where's he at with his deadlift?
Where's he at with his deadlift? What was, because you've been messing about with forwards as well.
I spoke to him. He's obviously fairly confident because he approached us wanting to do it, and I don't think he's the sort of guy that's going to do it without pulling a big deadlift. So yeah, I think he must be pretty much up there. Yeah. Who knows what Zydrunas can pull? I don't even know what his maximum is. I mean, I'm sure he's been around the 440, 450 mark before. But yeah, I mean, he has to do the show. Yeah. So he's obviously confident.
Night show preparation. I mean, I guess people are just going to have to start training in the evenings to do a night show like you're.
I think most of the guys do, to be fair. And the good thing is about it being a night show. They've got all day to eat and get ready and get used to the arena and things like that. Whereas at Europe's, the guys turn up at sort of 9:30, even to get ready for 12. So it's going to be a little bit easier from that point of view, and for the crowd as well. Hopefully, people who work on a Saturday and things can still come to the show. Yeah. So yeah, it should be cool.
Cool. Well, let's. I'll show you in a minute. Behind the camera, there is a smorgasbord of strongmen for this Swedish event, including Thor. Thor, nice to see you. Johnny Hansen, many others as well. So because we have the athletes meeting coming up, so this can't be too long, sadly. But let's have a quick chat with Derek. Derek, how's your overhead going?
Overhead's going better.
Yeah.
Had a little struggle last year with the axle, but definitely working on getting better at that.
If you had done better at the overhead last year, you probably would have been right up towards the podium, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
that was your.
Yeah, there were definitely some points I could have gained with just one rep, 1 or 2 reps with that.
Now, you were nearly at one point an MLB pitcher, college pitcher, very good, and you had a lot of shoulder problems. Is that a remnants of that?
I don't know for sure. I had shoulder problems before, but it's been several years now.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of gone and past.
So you can't use that as an excuse. I'm checking the excuse, man. Dave, I mean, I guess you can't really have excuses around Dave Austin. What's the most recent horrific injury, and how's recovery been?
February, I tore my right lat, and had to get it
How
surgically
bad?
repaired. It's bad, which is, it's not a real common one. The surgeons wouldn't believe me, the doctor, until the MRI came back, and they said, yeah, you actually tore it. So
from here or from?
Yeah, from up high here.
Yeah.
So they come in and make an incision here and an incision here and just sew it back up. But that actually went pretty well coming back from that. Just, I've had enough of them now. I learned not to, try to be the hero 1 week after surgery and go train, give it a little time. And, things have been coming back pretty well over the summer, and now training, has been going well.
So when you're hitting poses, I mean, does that right wing come in all right?
I honestly haven't really tested it for that yet, but
okay.
We'll see.
The bodybuilding career, it's slipping away from you.
Yeah.
You have been at one point leading World's Strongest Man's final, right?
Yeah, that seems like a long time ago. Yeah.
Remember that?
2008. Yeah.
2008, West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
And you were going through the gears and the car walk. I seem to remember it was about 3-4 events in, and you were nailing it. And then finished third, obviously, behind Marius and Derek.
Yeah, that first day went quite well. I think we
crazy well.
Yeah, we had the power stairs, those big power stairs. We had car walk, fingers. That was a good day. And then second day, we got to, my deadlift went well. Then log kind of, it's been a tougher event historically, and that's the one where it kind of, dropped me out of that top 2. But finished strong and, beat Phil at home for the last podium spot. So it turned out pretty well.
Dave, you will always have a job as World's Strongest Man's historian in future years to come, though I'm sure your real estate business is far better. So if you could tell us, I know a lot of people in Sweden believe that, have been told that back in the day, the 90s guys were stronger and this and that. Just to put it right for Swedish fans, how do you see the progression of the sport over the last 2 decades?
Really like night and day almost. I mean, it was really kind of that early 90s, mid-90s when guys like Magnus Ver and then shortly after Yoko Ahola were really doing a lot more event training that started this whole progression, I feel like. And there were certainly, very statically strong guys since the start of World's Strongest Man, but I think you have even more of those guys now. And 20 years ago, how many 400 kilo deadlifters were at World's Strongest Man? Maybe 1 or 2. And now you have, you really shouldn't even be in the final if you're not pulling 400 kilos. So I think now the standard is just crazy high compared to any time in the sport's history.
Yeah. And someone like Hafthor Bjornsson back there, if you were to have dropped him into World's Strongest Man finals any time before sort of 2010, I mean, it almost would have been almost guaranteed winner.
Yeah, I mean, the further back you go, the more unfair that would be for everyone else. It would just be, kind of a shock to everybody else, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I can remember in 1998 Tibor Mazaros turning up, and people going, "Yeah, guys, he's done over 400 kilos."
Yeah.
People like talking in hushed tones about his, and then it's amazing. Who was I talking to? That was Johannes, actually. This guy, Johannes also talking. He was slightly ashamed about his 420 kilo deadlift these days. It's just not really good enough. It's kind of ridiculous.
Since I started doing it, you get to pro strongman, and 800 was kind of this big number. And I joke with some of the guys. Carl Gillingham, one of my longtime training partners, and got to a point where all of a sudden 800 became the new 700. It was so commonplace, and then 900 became the new 8, and now we're almost getting to the verge where like 1,000 is the new 9, and
Yeah.
There's just so many guys hitting these huge numbers now. It's
450 kilos. What is that again?
990.
990.
Yeah.
So there's soon to be one man to join the club, hopefully. And if this cuts out, then the show's over. Let's just see if we can see him in the back of the room there. Hey, there he is. Still eating. Right, no one else is eating. Anyway, there's some of the faces. There's our new fella. Let's just zoom in on him. Johnny Hansen. Handsome Hansen is his nickname. I'm not quite sure why, as you can see. Who else have we got? Mr. Round Mountain, our MC. Who we got at the back there? David Nystrom, who just hangs around with big guys. He doesn't even compete anymore. He's our referee. Our official Strongman 105 kilo leader, right? Yeah. 105 kilos, what do you deadlift?
360.
360, yeah. He's not actually competing, he's just hanging around, you know. Obviously Jojo, and Bishop, Thor Bjornsson, the specimen, there he is. Dennis Korus from Germany. The Gates? Good. Excellent. There we go. Stefan, Mark Phillips. Anyway, as you can see, these fellas are serious game face on. We have the show tomorrow. So I'm going to say goodbye from us. Thank you very much for watching. And we'll do Officially Strong another time soon, hopefully. So, yeah. Thanks very much. Peace. Cheers.
I am the future of strength, and I am king of this
Thor Bjornsson is about to ignite.
It's a new world record. It's an all-time record in any lifting discipline.
Bjornsson is about to ignite.